You ever play something and then after that first initial tinge of, it just kind of annoys me a little bit, and you just keep going, and then you suddenly realize, oh wait, this, despite my initial apprehension, is awesome. Ever have that feeling? That's how I feel about Clair Obscur. Expedition 33. um, but in all seriousness, Clair Obscur is phenomenal. Um, I'm a huge fan of turn-based RPGs. I always have been. Doesn't matter what country or subsector genre of it is, whether it's Pokemon or Final Fantasy or the original Fallouts, or pick an RPG franchise that is turn-based out of a hat, and I have either played one of them, all of them, or I want to get around to it at some point. It's a genre that just clicks so easily for me that I enjoy at a really high level, and I always have and always will enjoy. I am a sucker for a really fun game that makes me think a little bit about how I play. It's an out of this world sort of feeling, and the accomplishment you get from playing them and figuring out all the little puzzles of the interactions. Now, here is how I have to build my character and structure this fight so I can win, is always a fun challenge that I really enjoy. However, as I mentioned when I started this a minute ago, I had some initial apprehension because I am never in my life been a very big fan of QTEs. Never. I feel like for a lot of games they break up some important parts by just saying, hey, we can't have them wait for a second. The gamer has to be engaged at all points. So throw a QTE at them. So, never really like them. Like if it's a narrative based game where, it's a lot more dialogue and, the action is not really taken forth and you just throw a QTE at me, I'm going to be like, well, that's just not very fun. I don't really enjoy you doing that to me. And then there's other cases where there's a game's entirely built upon it, like God of War, which is a franchise that I really wanted to enjoy, but just have not had the capability of doing so because I just kind of don't love the underlying gameplay mechanic that it's based on. Nothing against it. I've seen people love God of War. People have a great time with it. It's just not the franchise for me. However, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, whatever you want to call it, I'm probably just going to call it Expedition 33 going forward. What it does is around everything else besides the QTEs and the sort of, stop start parry dodge system, the Elden Ringing, the secularizing, as the developer had said, of the game. I don't really care. Like it was a negative, and I still think it is a negative about the game because I don't think it needs it. I feel like it just adds an unnecessary step to the genre that I enjoy for the way it was. However, as people have said, and it seems to be, people really enjoy this sort of modernization, quote unquote, despite that QT has been around forever, of the genre, or this was just a morphing of different styles of game. Like, people really enjoy it, so I get it. It's just not for me. However, Clair Obscur, again, I said I was gonna say Expedition. I just called it whatever. The game is so good. It looks beautiful. The music is phenomenal. It is so good. I listen to it by itself. There's a soundtrack that just is awesome. The vocals are so good. The instruments just do everything. It's a game that has a great story, engaging enough gameplay, beautiful design, wonderful music. It just does everything else so well. It tickles everything that I love about this genre of game, combined with everything I love about game design, music, visuals, aesthetics. It's just got everything. And, if it wasn't all that, I don't know if I would look upon it as fondly. If it was just decent and everything else, or good. Let's say it was good. Let's say it was like a 8, 7.5, 8 out of 10 at all those other things. I probably wouldn't really love it. I probably wouldn't have finished it because I just did not enjoy the QTE parry dodge system. It's just I don't need that in this style of game. I don't need it. I don't want it. It actively detracts from the gaming experience. But it is so good at everything else. It is so top tier in all those other aspects that I can look past it, and that's a really big thing because I think I think a lot of people continue to go through and spend money on these things. Money's not an issue, right? But there comes a point where you just don't feel the satisfaction anymore in a game. Like, I just can't play a game to play a game. It's just not something I can do. Like I just like if a game does not grip me immediately or very early on in some tangible way, then I'm just not gonna finish it. I might play it for an hour, two, maybe three, maybe get past the first area, stage, level, whatever it is, and then be like, yeah, I'm good. That's just who I am these days. That's who the person I've come to be. I just can't sit there and be like, oh yeah, I love this game. Same thing, everything though. I can't just sit there and watch a TV show just to watch it, or a movie just to watch it. Like it has to grip me, and I think Expedition 33 does that so well. It grips you immediately, giving you this beautiful world in Lumiere, and giving you all these wonderful visuals and a combat tutorial that works. And then the cutscenes on the beach and that first action, that first cinematic sequence on the continent is just so well done, so beautiful, so gripping and engaging. It makes you feel like, well, dang, I can't do anything but love this. Like that's how the game kind of wrapped me in. Like I got through the first area and I'm like, I can't help but just love this. It's just so overwhelmingly good at the things I need to be good at to enjoy it that no matter what, I'm going to enjoy this experience and see it all the way through. And I did. I played the game. The first 2 days, I put 30 hours into the game. I played a 16-hour session and a 14-hour session in the first 2 days I had the game. And then I spent the remaining 10 hours of my 40-hour playtime just doing everything else I needed to do to make sure I could play the game all the way. Like, it was so gripping, so good, so fun. Like, I think that's the big... It's fun. It is a fun game. It is a fun experience. I cannot go through the game and be like, this is not a good time. Everything. The fights, the exploring the map, seeing this beautiful world, doing all the little intricate things to beat the enemies that are very uniquely tuned was phenomenal. It is one of the best experiences I've had not in a really long time, but in a good amount of time. Like I play a lot of games. I play games every single day, like most people who play video games do. It's a great way to relieve stress or to just pass the time. Cause like after work, I just kind of just want to chill, want to just do something, play some video games, just maybe watch a basketball game and play some video games on the side. Like that's what I want to do. And Clair Obscur allowed me such an experience where I didn't want to do anything else but play Clair. I just wanted to play Station 33. That's all I wanted to do. Once I got off work, I'm straight on the game. Or, of that weekend, I was straight on the game. I just sat in my recliner, in front of my TV, and just played the game. And just played it until I beat it. And I can sit here and say that is an experience that I truly enjoyed. Like, it was just... I don't know. I feel like I'm being repetitive, but it was so good. I cannot describe how much fun I had and how much consistent fun it was. Like there wasn't an instance where I was like, this game just is not for me. It's not something that I'm going to enjoy. It's like even with the initial apprehension I had, that was so quickly melted away by just the visuals and the music and just the designs of the enemies and the characters you meet. Like everyone is so much fun. Ciel, Lune, Nael, Verso, my boy Eski, my man Minoko, everyone, Golgra, all of these characters, though spread throughout the entire continent, are interesting and unique, and bring a little bit of flavor to the world in the game that makes you love them even more. And the story is phenomenal. The twist, and all the stuff that you said. Once you play the game the first time and you go through the second time, and now you're like, wait, what? Huh? That there was with this, and that means that, and they spoiled this so early on, and we just didn't realize. Like, it's a game with twists, and turns, and heartbreak, and just a lot of unexpected stuff happens in the game, and you're like, I wasn't expecting it to go this way. I was not, this is not what I expected to happen. But it just hit in such a way where I'm sitting here like, I mean, there's just no word. Like I sat there at the end, and me and my friends were playing it alongside each other. I was ahead for a little bit, and then my buddy passed me right there because I was doing stuff around the map. But like, just seeing their reactions to the stuff that I had reacted to just an hour, 2, 3 earlier was like, it was so awesome. It was such a great experience of playing. Like we all are coming to these realizations relatively soon to each other. I'm like, what? And then you come out of it being like, this is phenomenal, despite all the hangups. And I would say of the friend group that was playing it together, I am the most critical of the game for these systems. The others, they're not that deep. They're not deep in their bag when it comes to these turn-based RPGs. One of them has never played a Final Fantasy game before, but that's a different story. But I think that's a testament to how good the game is. That people who don't play this style of game love it, and it's shown in the sales. $2 million in the sales, or 2 million games sold in a studio's first release is insane. The fact that there's a movie deal in it kind of makes me believe there's some astroturfing going on here, but I don't really care. I had a great experience. But I'm sitting here at the end of it all being like, what? What's in, like, it's, what did I just do? Like, this is probably going to be, I mean, it's been the best, it's not the best game of the decade, but it's up there. I still would say Baldur's is the best game released in the 2020s. It's up there, though. I think it's up there with Baldur's as being the top game of the decade that I have played. Now, to be fair, I have not played every single game because a lot of games just don't interest me. But if we're talking about games released in the past 5 years for this decade, it is up there with Baldur's and Elden Ring for the three best games that I've. Those are probably the three best games I've played this decade, and I don't even think I have to think about it after that. I think these are the three best games because it's just for something that just kind of came out of left field. I didn't even realize it came out until my buddy who had got it first told me. I remember seeing it, the trailer, I think the Game Awards, and then boom, it's out, and I'm like, what? It's here? And for a game that I had never had less expectation for being as good as it was, it's phenomenal. It's a game that I am going to have high regards for a very, very long time. Like, I don't. It's a game that, here's the thing. It's not a game that you will play forever. It's not a game that I'll play forever. I played it, beat it, got my ending, did everything in it, and I probably will never play it again. And that's perfectly fine. I think that's where it's different than Elden Ring and Baldur's because those games are bigger, and just in terms of scale and hours put into the game. If you're not like, I mean, the games are probably shorter just because of how quick you can get through Elden Ring. If you really know what you're doing, like, you can speedrun that game so quickly, and then the average person can. But you gotta get good. But like, those games are so much bigger and there's so much replayability because there's so much more variance. They came into this game with a decision, and that's the one decision that matters, and you live with it. Meanwhile, you go to Baldur's, there's 4 million different decisions that can impact how your game is. No one person's game is going to be the exact same between everybody. Like, there's decisions are going to be different, all that. And same thing with Elden Ring. There's 6 endings, 5 endings, however many there are, and sure, some of them are just palette swaps. But there's three main different styles of endings, and they are rapidly different from each other. I say this long-winded thing to say that I love this game. It's a top 3 game of the decade for me so far. There may be more games that come out. I'm sure that Doom will have a great counterpunch. This is probably my game of the year, depending on what's released in the second half of the year. It's going to be really hard to beat this, but it's possible. I'm excited. I just really like this game, and I was like, I just kind of want to talk about it some more. Talked about it with my friends, but like, I just kind of had some time. I was like, I want to talk about the game. It's a phenomenal game. I love it. It might be. It's not. It's not my favorite game of this archetype of this genre, quote unquote. But it is. It's my favorite French game. I'll say that much. For a bunch of former Ubisoft devs, who shout out to you guys for getting your independence and doing what you want to do. This is the best French game I've ever played, probably. I don't even think that's a contest. This might be the best European game I've played. That's not true. Baldur's Gate is. But this is a really good game. It's a game that you should play. It's not overly priced. I mean, this probably would have beat out GTA 6 because I've never been high on GTA, and I probably wouldn't have been high on this one either. But I know that's not released until next year. But this certainly, I don't think there's not a game that I'm expecting to beat this for Game of the Year at the moment. There are contenders, and we'll see that come. But Clair Obscur, X003, is just phenomenal. It is not the perfect game, but it's a solid 9.5, 9 out of 10. The music is a 10. It looks a 10. The characters are a 9.5, 9. Like, the designs, everything is everything outside of the gameplay itself is like a 9.5 out of 10. And then the gameplay, the turn-based stuff is awesome. Love it. It's a great system. The Pictos are so fun. The suicide build is crazy. And my buddy were like, there's no way that you actually could build the suicide build. Turns out, not a bad build. The suicide build is actually great. Um, but yeah, like it's it's a really good game. The gameplay with the QTs probably gets knocked down to like an 8 because I just don't like QTs at all. It doesn't make the game unplayable, but it's not something that I want to do over and over and over again. I just want to play. So that being said, I probably give like the game like a 9, 9.5, somewhere in between that range of game numbers. But it is certainly a phenomenal game. I can't wait to see what Sandhill does, or Sandfall, sorry, does for the next experience.